shamed, disgraced, discredited. These are the Google search results that I got when I typed in synonyms for Dishonored, a game that came out in 2012 but one that I never played until 2022. What was I doing all those years? Only God knows. Anyways, in this video, we're gonna see if Dishonored still holds up to this day, and you know I'm gonna give it a fair assessment because I have 0% nostalgia clouding my mind, seeing as how I've never played this game before. So I'll give you my honest thoughts about it at the end of the video. Oh, and before we get started, help me turn this number into a slightly bigger number by hitting that subscribe button for me. If this video gets maybe 100 subs, I'll do a Dishonored 2 playthrough next. I start the game out by getting off of one boat and onto another, much like how I got off the starting FOV as quickly as I could and changed it to something that I liked more. A few steps in and the game's first enemy comes charging at me, is what I thought was happening. This little girl is actually a friend who just wanted to play hide and seek. And you bet your ass I won that game. We get to meet the Empress next. She's noble, caring, and dead. Emily, the little girl who's bad at hide and seek, gets taken away and the Empress dies in my arms. Everyone conveniently shows back up and wouldn't you know it, they all think that I was the one who killed the Empress. I don't particularly like this kind of plotline, but I'll play along for now. As frustrated as I was with this storyline, I get it. It must have been difficult for everyone to accept that magical assassins were the actual culprit here, and it's much easier just to blame me. Looks like I've been dishonored. I wake up to find myself locked away in Cold Ridge Prison, but not for long. A Corvo, that's me, sympathizer, has left me a key to free myself. I do find out here that I was actually set up to take the fall for murdering the Empress. Typical Tuesday, I guess. I said goodbye to my rat friend and set off for a less prison-like environment. It's here now that I learned how to be a master of stealth and also how not to be one. It's time to blow up the door and make my grand escape, which I do, flawlessly. I end up in the sewers and I learn that somebody's hidden weapons down here for me, and that I'm supposed to find a certain person named Samuel, who's gonna help me escape. Have you ever wondered who would win a fight between two armed guards and a pack of rats? Well, now you know. Hey, Post Malone went live on Twitch. I know. Next, I found a rat skewer, which thank God when I ate that, it didn't give me any kind of disease whatsoever. I accidentally ran into this trap, and then I did not run into this one. As I discover in this note, the people helping me call themselves the Loyalists, a group of people who believe in serving the Empress, but more importantly, a group of people who believe in serving me. I obtain my weapons and head outside. Now introducing Samuel. He is an angel, some people say. After finishing my first mission, I noticed that it says that my overall chaos was high. Apparently I killed one too many guards or something. Well, if they weren't meant to be killed, they shouldn't have died, but whatever, we'll move on for now. Samuel takes me to the Hound's Pit pub, the hideout for the Loyalists. Inside I meet the crew, Lord Trevor Pendleton and Admiral Havelock. Also Piero, who's just like a less cool Resident Evil 4 merchant. He makes me a mask and tells me to put it on. I oblige, mostly because the game doesn't give me a choice. My first mission with the Loyalists? Get some sleep. A daunting task. I just hope that Corvo can sleep better than I can because lately I've been really bad at that. When I wake up, I come to find that my worst nightmare has become a reality. I'm trapped in a dream world with some guy who I'm pretty sure is just a rat piloting a human body. Some real Ratatouille shit. Anyways, he marks my hand and grants me the gift of Blink, a short distance teleport. Like a baby learning to crawl and eventually walk, I had to learn how to blink. Morbius shows up again to give me a cool heart that I can use to detect runes to make myself stronger. Cool. In the real world, Admiral Havelock gives me the mission statement of the Loyalists. Kill absolutely everyone that we have to make sure that Emily Caldwin, the little girl who's bad at hide and seek, becomes Empress, because she's the daughter of the late Empress and her rightful place is on the throne. My first target is the High Overseer Campbell. Campbell also has a diary that he keeps with him that's absolutely full of secrets that we need to know. So I'm supposed to find him, kill him, and take the diary. A few more things that you need to know for this mission. Martin is a Loyalist currently held captive where I'm going tonight, and Callista has an uncle named Jeff, spelt like that, who is apparently a good man that she'd like for me to spare. Nightfall is here and I'm making my way to kill the Suit Man. My first instinct when I see this electric wall is to just teleport past it. I try to do that, but I just end up as a cooked chicken nugget. So time for a new plan. The wall is powered by a whale oil tank, as most are. Remove it and the wall is powered by nothing, and therefore is not on anymore. After a little rooftop stroll, I run into Martin. Remember from the mission briefing, he's the guy that we like and want to save. So I do that. A short while later, I enter the building where Campbell is hiding. I come across a dining table with a couple of drinks on it. One of them is green, one of them is red. One is for Captain Kurnow, who is Callista's uncle, and it's poisoned. The other one is for Campbell, and it's not poisoned. I have the option to switch the drinks around or combine them, killing both of them. them. I end up just switching the drinks around so that way Campbell dies and Kurnow lives. I don't know why I didn't just kill them both. I guess I just wanted Callista to be happy. With my incredible ability to see through keyholes, I watch as the pair prepares to take their drinks. Campbell doesn't go down easy, but he does go down in the end, leaving Kurnow to wonder what the hell is going on. The guards turn on him and I panic, freak out, and bust through the door to help him kill the guards. I wasn't gonna let the man I just saved die right in front of me. That would be a waste of my time and good intentions. So we kill the guards, and much to my surprise, Kurnow turns on me next. Again, not wasting my good intentions here, I put him to sleep with a sleep bolt. He ends up passing out in a room full of people, and I start to panic again because I think that they're all gonna notice and freak out. But no one noticed. I managed to grab the diary and Kurnow. I take them both outside and stick Kurnow in a dumpster for safety purposes. Then I get back to Samuel, finishing my mission. My overall chaos again was high. I promise I'll work on that as time goes on. I arrive back at the Hound's pub and take a nap. When I wake up, I find Havelock. He tells me that no one else wants to go down into the sewers and check out the strange noises that people have been hearing at night, so I have to do it. Reluctantly, I go down and come across a bunch of weepers, or people that have been infected with the plague. Apparently, their entire purpose in life at this point is to run up to you and puke on you. Absolutely horrible. Havelock and Martin meet up, and it's time to talk turkey. Thanks to me stealing that black journal, we now know where Emily is being held captive. The twist here is that Trevor Pendleton's evil cousins are the ones holding Emily captive, so they have to die. Trevor says he has reservations about killing his cousins off, but tells me to do it anyway before he changes his mind. So I set off. My destination is the Golden Cat. It's a brothel where Emily is being held. Out in the world here, I notice the city is in absolute shambles because apparently I'm just too chaotic. I think that's a bit much, but it is what it is. On my way to the Golden Cat, I get lost and then stumble into a bunch of gangsters. I accidentally jumped on this guy's head and it must have done some damage to him because then the entire pub turned on me and tried to kill me. I restarted and tried again, but without the jumping this time. I met a man named Slackjaw, the leader of the gang. Slackjaw says he has a better way to get into the brothel, but he needs something from me first. This interests me, so I go along with it. He wants me to find his missing informant. I do that, his name's Galvani by the way, doesn't really matter because he's already dead, and report back to Slackjaw. He's not happy with the outcome, but he says he'll still help me out. He hands me a key and says I can use it to get into the Golden Cat a little easier. He takes it one step further and says that he'll get rid of the Pendletons for me if I just do something else for him. I need to get him the safe code for a safe that a rich fancy art dude keeps at his place. I get him the combination and he'll take care of the Pendletons. We finally arrive at the Golden Cat. I scare a lady half to death, then find Emily and free her. Emily goes and waits by the exit while I tie up some loose ends. Like the art dealer, who's conveniently strapped into an electric chair. I shock him silly for a little while and he gives up the safe code. Now, Slackjaw will do my dirty work for me. Me and Emily get the heck out of there and I report back to Slackjaw with the safe code. He then reveals what he's actually gonna do with the Pendletons. He's gonna kidnap them, shave their heads, cut out their tongues, and stick them down to work the mines that they own. I'll admit, for a brief moment, I did think to myself, damn, maybe I should have just killed them. That would have been more humane. I do want to point out, though, that this mission brought my total chaos to low, so I must have been doing something right. One awkward boat ride later, Emily is safe back at the Hound's pub. Havelock wastes no time in telling me about my next mission. Find this guy named Sokolov and get him to give up the Lord Regent's mistress's name. Sorry, I said that weird. Find this guy named Sokolov and get him to give up the name of the Lord Regent's mistress. We get that and surely we'll be able to use that to our advantage. We set off immediately and I reach the bridge with only some minor setbacks. Then after many more setbacks, we reach Sokolov. He tried to bribe me out of kidnapping him, but I can't be bought. I got him outside and down the tower. Not far from us, Samuel was waiting to take us out of there. I couldn't help but notice that Samuel got really close to where Sokolov was there at the end. Couldn't he have just taken me there at the beginning? I could have gone up the tower, got him, been out in like a minute, and we could have just gone out the same way. Like, why did he bring me all the way across the map to start the mission? But you know, oh well. I brought Sokolov back and we finished the mission. Alright, now we've captured him, it's time to interrogate him. I choose to release the rats upon him and he instantly caves. He reveals that Lady Boyle is the lady that we're after. She's supposed to be at a costume party tonight, so that's where I'll be too. Before I leave, Trevor says he wants me to deliver a note to a certain Lord Shaw, who's also going to be at the party. Dressed like a wolf. Trevor knows what he's gonna wear before he wears it. Kinda odd, but okay. After a little trek through the city, I arrive at the doorman outside outside of the party. I give him my invitation, he says, right this way. Then I get confused because where he told me to go is just a wall. I eventually figure it out though and enter the party. The doorman hates my mask and it takes me a minute to figure out why that is. Then I realize they think I'm dressed up as the guy who's been going around assassinating guards and kidnapping public figures. They have it all wrong though, I'm not dressed up like that guy. I am that guy. Out in the courtyard, I find Lord Shaw. I give him the note, and it turns out we're gonna duel right here now on the spot. We do that, he loses, then I go inside. After annoying every party guest I could find to the point where the guards were asking me to leave the premises, I snuck upstairs to see what goodies I could find. Many guards lost their lives up here. Then something strange happened. My target, Waverly Boyle, was alone in the foyer. I did a double take to make sure that no one else was around her, and then I ascended from the heavens to finish her off. Low chaos, by the way. I ended this mission at low chaos. I'm not a chaotic person. No sooner than right after I get back to the pub, Havelock and Martin need to talk to me ASAP. It's time to take down the Lord Regent. He's held up at Dunwall Tower, which, if you remember, is where the beginning of this game took place. Samuel brings me in, and I make my way through the tower like the master of stealth that I am. I expertly navigate the traps, strategically enter the building, and stumble across the propaganda officer. That sounds like a made-up job, but whatever. Apparently, the Lord Regent keeps audio files of all his evil doings. Very convenient for me, so I can just go grab those cards, play them over the radio, and everyone in the city will know how much of a jackass he is. Sneaking into the Lord Regent's chamber was a little more difficult than I had anticipated. He had quite the large platoon of guards surrounding him. It's almost like he was expecting me to be here tonight. I eventually found the room next to his, and from it, I could see inside his room. Now, if you remember, when I tried to teleport through electricity, I just died. So I didn't think that teleporting through fire would work, but it actually did. I was so shocked that it worked, I actually fucked up the takedown and had to reload a save. But I did it again, and this time I choked him out right then and there. I cracked the safe on the wall and got the confession tapes inside. Brought it back to the control room and aired the Lord's dirty laundry for the world to hear. About this time, the Lord Regent somehow woke up and got caught by the guards. They actually arrested him right then and there on the spot, which I thought was a pretty cool touch. Then I got out of the tower and Samuel took me home. When we were approaching the Hound's pub, I started to suspect that something was wrong. I just felt like the game couldn't end so perfectly right then and there. There was still more to do. The game wasn't ready to end yet. Turns out my suspicions were warranted because the homies back at the pub spiked my drink. The Loyalists had betrayed me. They're gonna need a new name. God's gift to man Samuel appeared before me and told me that he only gave me half the poison that they wanted him to give me, so I would actually have a chance at surviving. When I woke up, the magic assassins were standing over me in a part of the city that I really shouldn't be in. Dowd shows up and reveals that he's been gifted the same magical powers that I have, and that he's actually the one who stabbed the Empress. He throws my stuff down into the water and then knocks me out. In the dream world, I have a chat with my old spiritual guide. He says some stuff I don't understand, then I wake up next to a rat down in a hole. I bust my way out and fight my way through the assassins. Swim through something a little cleaner than the water that's in Flint, Michigan, and then retrieve my gear. Now I need to go teach Dowd that he's stupid and I hate him. When I find him, he's telling his men that he's probably gonna die. Damn right you are. I bust in the room and miss my crossbow shot. Dowd does some weird shit that makes everything black and white. Upon rewatching this footage, I noticed that he was actually slowing down my bullets completely, but then running into them anyway, hurting himself greatly. I shoot him again and he disappears completely. Just outside, I find Dowd bleeding out. He tried to reason with me and explain why I should spare him. Halfway through his explanation, I got bored and I shot him. Mission complete. While I try to leave the area, I run into the most passive-aggressive NPC I've ever seen in any video game ever. Every time I got close to him, he would just stare at me for a really long time and then punch me or something. But he had absolutely no malice towards me when he did it. I just kept letting him do it over and over because every time he did it, I thought he was gonna apologize to me or something. But he never did, and I just went on my way. I made my way into the sewers and ran past some weepers that I didn't want to deal with, and eventually beat the mission. Still low chaos, by the way, just wanted to point that out. I promise there's a reason I keep mentioning this. We'll get to it in a little bit. We arrive at the Hound's pub, and it's time to find Emily. While I'm making my way towards her, an optional mission to save Sokolov and Piero pops up, and it looks kind of interesting, so I pursue that. On the way towards them, I find a note that reveals that Emily is being held captive at a lighthouse on King Sparrow Island. Good to know. After sneaking inside the workshop, I find the boys chatting it up. In their solitude, they've cooked up something called an arc pylon that can either knock everyone out in the area or just flat out kill them dead. See, I knew saving these guys would lead to something interesting. The only problem is they need the blueprints that are back in Havelock's room to get this thing operational. No problem, let me get that right now. Alright, up until now, I've been a pretty decent human being. Low chaos most of the game. I've spared people when I had the chance. I've helped out people that I didn't have to help out. I've been a pretty good guy. Well, now I want to try a new approach. I'm gonna kill everyone. I grabbed the well oil, plug it in, and everyone died. To be honest, it was less spectacular than I thought it would be. Am I a bad person? Anyways, I found Callista and she had a flare cannon with her. I shot it and it signaled Samuel to come pick me up. Upon finishing the level, I noticed something funny. My chaos level was high. I wonder if that had anything to do with the mass murder that I committed. Again, I figured, what the hell, it's no big deal, right? And I just moved on. Well, I was wrong. It was a big deal. On the way to the lighthouse, Samuel expressed his disappointment in me and said that this was probably the last time we'd ever see each other. At that very moment, I knew I f***ed up. See, I didn't really care about what 99% of everyone in this game thought about me, but Samuel? He's different, man. If Samuel's disappointed in you, that's when you know true shame. I was so upset with the way the story was going that I actually reloaded a save, went back to the arc pylon, and chose to knock everyone out instead of killing them. This led to my chaos score going back down to low, and I got a different reaction from Samuel. He expressed the desire to see me again one day and wish me good luck. The weight of the world had been lifted off my shoulders. Now it was time to get Emily to safety and end this. Along my journey to save Emily, I got to experience many new sensations. What it was like to be a rat, what it was like to be a man, what it was like to watch this man fall to his death, and what it was like to watch me fall to my own. Eventually though, I made it. I ascended the spiral staircase and found Havelock, Martin, and Pendleton. I opted to put them to sleep instead of killing them, kind of continuing the low chaos method. But then I noticed something funny. Trevor and Martin had already been killed before I got there. Looks like Havelock couldn't bear to let anyone else survive and lived to tell the tale of what they had all done. Still though, I left Havelock alive but unconscious and freed Emily. The mission ended and, much to my surprise, the game ended too. It was definitely not the ending I expected, but I've come to terms with it. Besides, there's always Dishonored 2, which could continue the story. Remember, hit the subscribe button if you want to see a video on that playthrough. Dishonored was great, to be honest. The graphics were all they needed to be. The game ran flawlessly at 130 FPS the whole time. The gameplay makes me want to give this a couple of playthroughs to test out new tactics and new ways to do everything. The story was fun, and the way that you can change up the story with your own actions is pretty cool too. It's really easy to see why this game had such high reviews and why almost every single one of my Twitch viewers was excited to watch me play this for the first time. I can't really say anything negative about Dishonored. I guess the only thing was that I experienced a couple of weird bugs, but when you have the name Bethesda slapped on the cover of your game, that's just to be expected. If you guys enjoyed this video, consider checking out my playthrough of Resident Evil 4, or just check out my most recent video. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to the patrons who help support this channel, and a special shout out to the VIPs, nickRSA, doktorjohaan, calabag, Hughes6707, jokeswithdad, defnotdallas, and willyboywonder. That's all for now. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.